Hey everyone, it's your girl Jenny and welcome to another reading vlog. In this one we are going to be tackling Gig of the Damned by Phrique, which is a fun extreme horror slasher. And then we're also going to be tackling the audiobook of Thirst by Marina Yuszuck, I believe. And this is a vampire story where we follow two different POVs, one of a vampire and one of a woman. So I hope you guys enjoy. Today is Sunday, September 21st, so it's the first day of fall and it is so fucking hot. So with that being said, we're just going to enjoy the day as it comes. It is a little bit later. We had a slower morning cleaning up, doing things around the house, and now we are gonna go for a late lunch, which I'm so excited for. Ricky really wanted a burger, so we're going to do that. And I'm gonna bring my book just in case. It's called Something Truly Dreadful by Matthew Salinas, and he is actually a local author, and it is a signed copy because I did go to his author signing at one of the local Barnes & Nobles. Plus, look at that cover. It is creepy and I want creepy. We're actually going to be leaving to go watch a movie. We're planning to go watch Him, and it has mixed reviews, but nonetheless, I'm still very excited to go see it. But since I have 20 minutes, I figured I could go ahead and start Something Truly Dreadful. In the story, we follow a group of teenagers in 2001. They have nothing better to do, so they are checking out this new attraction in town called Doug's Den of Insanity, and it's meant for younger kids, like ages 7 to 12 or something like that. So it's kind of like a fun house that's a little creepy, but it's meant for a younger group of kids, and they're teenagers. So anyway, they decide to meet up and go to this place. It's only $1, so why not? And upon entering, they come across the guy Doug, who is giving them the spiel, and they're kind of uncomfortable. Like, they feel unsettled talking to this guy, but they go ahead and proceed. And there's a group of 5 of them, and now they're entering the attraction, but you can only go in groups of 2, so they're already being separated. And the last group is a guy of 1, so I feel like he might be the first to go, because the beginning of this book says, on October 13th, Wes Andrews and his friends set out to explore the local rundown haunted house. Despite it being geared towards children, they figured that with nothing better to do, it might be fun to heckle the low-budget attraction. But after that night, no one ever saw or heard from them again. So it's safe to say that the one who is by himself might be the first to go. Alright, so we're home now. We went to go watch the movie Him. I'll put the poster here. And honestly, I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. It was like a 2.5 star out of 5 for me. It was shot very, very beautifully. I personally like the conspiracies of like rituals and like people making sacrifices and doing things to get famous and have power. So that part was interesting, but I think it did drag quite a bit. Like, it didn't really go too far into it. It was okay. So anyway, we're home and I'm gonna continue my read, and I just got to chapter 3. Right now, the first 2 girls went through the haunted house attraction, Veronica and Louise, and I have to say the after part is very creepy. The atmosphere is very chilling, so far I'm having a really good time with this. I just finished Something Truly Dreadful, and I feel like I really liked the chilly, creepy atmosphere for sure, but it did read a little YA, so I'm kind of curious to see if this is a YA story, or maybe it's because the characters are about 15 years old. But I had a good time with it. I would say this is like a 3-star read, and it seems like it's open to a potential sequel, so I would be very interested in checking that out if there is a sequel. But again, that cover is sick, and yeah, I guess those are my thoughts on it. I don't want to say too much just because it is such a short book, but it did have, like I said, a creepy atmosphere. I'm gonna start thinking about what book I want to start tomorrow. Happy Monday, everyone. Today is definitely a Monday. I feel it. It's very gloomy outside, which is really nice, but oh my gosh, I have the worst tension headache, so that's why I'm working pretty much in the dark. But I wanted to do a quick reading check-in. Since I finished my physical read last night, I figured it's time to pick up a new one, and I am going to be picking up Gig of the Damned by Phrique. And this is an extreme horror, and it says it is bloody AF, violent AF, and gay AF. So I feel like not only is it going to give me that extreme horror that I'm looking for, but also some fun action and probably some very interesting characters as well. The back says, so when a fierce masked killer starts slaying the competition one by one, it's every hunty for herself. Luck be a lady killer tonight, for there can only be one queen. It just feels like it's going to be so much fun, and I feel like that's something that I really need right now. I'm going to be starting my read of this today. And as usual, I have my coffee. I'm going to continue my audiobook of Thirst, and I'm also going to do something with my hair just because I feel like we could look a little bit cuter, especially for Monday, so I'm going to do that, and then we're going to do laundry. But throughout all of this, we are going to be listening to our audiobook. We've been pretty productive, but now I'm gonna sit down and spend 10 minutes reading just because I really want to get started on this today, so we're gonna do just that. Oh my gosh. I am almost done with this chapter, so let's go ahead and finish because what the fuck? I'm only on page 8 and we already have a death, so happy for that. We're getting right into the story, right into the action, and we have already met so many characters and they're all so fucking interesting. Like, I am invested. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I am currently on lunch and I have about 30 minutes left, but I'm going to use 15 of those to continue my read of Gig of the Damned. Yesterday I was able to read 16 pages, so not a lot, but those 16 pages were a lot of fun. So I'm only going to use 15 minutes because I need to start getting ready because we're actually going to dinner with one of our family members to celebrate Ricky's birthday. His birthday's on Sunday, but we don't get to see her often, and we get to see her tonight, so it's very exciting. I absolutely love her, and it's gonna be a great time. Alright, so I just finished chapter 4, and I really enjoy Phrique's writing. I mean, it's very descriptive and fun, but it is kind of over the top in the best way possible. And so our killer just got another victim, and so one thing that this killer does is that they remove the faces of their victims. So they like grab a razor or whatever and just like peel it off. But yeah, I really want to know who they are, why they're doing this, and why the faces. So we are back from dinner and the food was so delicious. I think my favorite had to be the crispy shrimp. I was so obsessed with them. And then the rest of the food was good. Whenever we go out with Ricky's stepmom, Veronica, we always do like kind of like family tapas style, and we get to try a little bit of everything. And I absolutely love when we do it that way because we get to try so many different dishes. And I don't think there was one miss. Like everything from appetizers to dessert was phenomenal. And she ordered the dessert platter and it was meant for 2 people, and that thing was huge. Like I don't think 2 people could have finished that on their own, especially after a dinner. It had ice creams and sorbets, a creme brulee, a chocolate cake with ice cream, and lots of fruit. And on top of that, we ordered like this orange citrus cheesecake thing for Ricky because we didn't know that the platter was going to be that big. And yeah, we had a great time. We had such a phenomenal time. Now we are home and I'm going to continue Gig of the Damned. Happy Thursday, everyone. Time for a quick little reading update. So today I cleaned my house, which means throughout the day, but especially during cleaning, I was able to listen to the audiobook of Thirst by Marina Yuszuck. And so I don't know if I've told you guys in this vlog what the book is about. So it is like a vampire story, and we essentially follow 2 women in Argentina. So in the prologue, we are introduced to this woman. I don't remember their names. I don't even know if we know their names. The woman we were introduced to in the prologue has a son named Santiago, and they were in the cemetery because that's what they do. They go to cemeteries. And then we go into part 1 where we are introduced to the other woman who is a vampire. So we essentially get her lore, we get the history, how she became a vampire, and also just like a little bit of her life. Now she's lived for I think centuries, but we get snippets of her life and I guess like the more important parts, and then we follow her up until a certain point. And then I recently started part 2 where we go back to the original woman from the prologue, and so now we're getting a little bit more of her story, where she is in her life right now and what she is dealing with. Right now she has a very sick mother that she is kind of tending to. Like her dad is there and present, so she's kind of like in and out, especially because her mom doesn't really want her to see her in that way. So she's just kind of dealing with that, along with a divorce and now being a single mom. That her ex is very involved in Santiago's life. So now we're at the point where her mom's health is really failing her, but we are getting to a point where both of their lives are about to intertwine, and I'm so here for it because I don't know what's gonna happen, because I don't know if they're going to be lovers or if they're just 2 women who are experiencing loneliness. So they're about to meet and I want to know how that goes. That's where I'm at. I hope that makes sense because it's late. And so now for an update on Gig of the Damned. I haven't read anything else today, but I am going to pick it up for a little bit tonight. And I think I told you guys that Phrique's writing is so beautiful. It's just so captivating the way that he describes things. It's so fun, and the characters that he writes, they are so freaking fascinating. So I'm having such a great time with it. Yes, this is a horror. There's some slashing. I'm excited to see where this goes because now there's a new character that has been brought into the mix and has thrown the killer's plans out the window because they're like, what the fuck? This is a wrench in my plan. They just threw a wrench in my plan. Is that the saying? I don't even know. characters are just so freaking funny. I just found out that one of the characters, Dixie, she has like this little side operation to make more money, and essentially people pay her to give them a butt. The thing is, she's not using the right materials. So like, what the fuck? The things people will do for money is insane to me. Oh my gosh. Now chapter 13, and we are back to Gamble Donna Fart, which is Antonio, and he's pretty much our main character, and it seems like we have another flashback. We are learning a little bit more about his, his past. Moms in books really make you grateful for the one you have, because I love my mom. In this flashback, we are introduced to his mom's boyfriend all these years ago and his experience with the boyfriend. And he's a fucking reverend. And it's not like an actual church. This feels kind of culty. And his name is Dathan. Like, what the fuck? Which apparently means belonging to the law. That's why I'm here on earth, righting the wrong, fixing the evil, correcting the sinners, one by one. I belong to the law and you belong to me. I'm going to fix you one way or another, and if I can't, I'll stomp your ass into a hole deep enough no one will find you. As a mom, how could you want this for your child? She's very religious, so she's very disappointed in the way that Antonio is. I mean, he can't help it. He is who he is, right? And his mom freaking hates it. Yeah, fuck his mom. And especially fuck her boyfriend and their culty ass shit. Happy Friday, everyone. It is the evening and I am finishing up getting ready, and I'm almost done with the audiobook of Thirst by Marina Yuszuck, and I feel like this book started off so strong for me, and then it just kind of plateaued, especially once we got to part 2. Now I do have to say that the woman in part 2 is interesting. I do like her story, but it felt like very different. But I think I initially thought this was gonna follow the vampire a little bit more, so there is that. But we are finishing the audiobook. We have about 18 minutes left. Happy Saturday, everyone. I think I'm going to close out the vlog today just because I really don't think I'm going to be doing any other reading this weekend. But last night I finished the audiobook of Thirst by Marina Yuszuck. I'll put the picture of it right here. I have to say, the beginning of the book, or like the first part of the book, really had me intrigued. We followed the vampire and she's unnamed. Like at one point when she was with the woman, she like whispered her name to her, but the woman wasn't sure if she just couldn't hear her or if her name was told in a different language she couldn't hear, which I think is really cool and interesting, but we never got to learn the name of the vampire. But at one point, the vampire referenced the woman as Alma, so I don't know if that's really her name or if it was just like a cute nickname, pet name that she gave to her. So I don't know if they're both unnamed or if the woman's name is Alma. So as I previously mentioned, part 1 we follow the vampire, and then in part 2 we follow the woman, and eventually their paths cross, and they are both very lonely in different ways. Obviously the vampire has dealt with centuries of loneliness, and honestly the biggest thing is that when earlier on in her life she actually was with like a pack of other women who were turned into vampires by their master. You know, they were kind of sold into this because at the time their families needed money, so they gave up their kids in exchange for something. And so then these girls grew up to be with the master, and it was so sad. But over time the people of that town became less fearful of vampires and went on a hunt. She was also captured but managed to get away, so from there on she was alone. So she has dealt with loneliness and grief and things like that for a very long time, and we follow her as she navigates life, and the world is changing, and she comes to a point where she kind of just gives up and she locks herself in a crypt. Centuries pass, and now we are with the woman, and she is grieving her mother who is slowly dying. She has like a disease or some medical condition where she is slowly dying. She's losing ability to live a normal life. And so she's dealing with that, and she's also dealing with her divorce and just trying to find a new normal. We follow her and she's just kind of aimless too. She doesn't know what to do. But I have to say that the shift from part 1 to part 2 feels very different. Like I felt like it was a whole different book. But eventually, the woman went ahead and opened the crypt and she accidentally unleashed the vampire. And then eventually the vampire found her. I feel like the rest of the book was very rushed. And there was a decision at the end of the book that the woman made that just felt so out of the blue. And personally, I was not a fan of it. I just kind of sat there like shocked, like, girl, what the fuck are you doing? Overall, I feel like I would give this a 3-star. But like I said, I felt like part 1 and part 2 felt like different books, and there were some times where the writing felt a little clunky, but I do have to say that this is, I believe, a translated work of fiction. Honestly, I think it has more to do with that than the actual writing style, because I have seen that people who read this book in Spanish say that it is a little bit different. I just would have liked to see them together a little bit longer, because once they got together everything felt rushed, because I did still enjoy it, but I do think I enjoyed part 1 a little more. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to be doing any more reading this weekend, just because we're going to be celebrating Ricky's birthday and I'm very, very excited. So with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the vlog. I will see you guys in the next one, and as always, happy reading.